So today's video, we're going to talk about owning the media. So if you saw the last video within this video series, we talked about controlling the media. And so in this video, we're going to talk about owning the media. But before we go ahead and get started with today's video, if you'd like to see your odds of becoming a millionaire, be sure to take our performance-based personality test, because there are 2 personality traits that are the greatest predictors of wealth, which you can do so at millionairetest.alphalifestyleacademy.com. And even if you do not have these traits, which most likely you do not, we'll walk you through on how to cultivate these traits. So just in case you missed any of the previous videos within this video series, you know that I used to work as a business strategist for a $400 million marketing firm, many times working with executives from multi-billion-dollar companies. Now, I'm not going to say that all billion-dollar companies follow these principles, but the companies that we worked with, they follow these 3 main principles, which is number 1, which is to control the media. Number 2 is to own the media, and then number 3 is to own the customer. So in today's video, we're going to talk about owning the media. Now, if you saw the last video within this video series, a principle that we learned from Walt Disney is this thing called owning the media. So Disney started off by running their own TV show, which was basically a infomercial disguised as entertainment in order to sell Disneyland, or to get people to travel to Disneyland. Years later, they started acquiring different advertising channels. So they started buying, ABC, ESPN, started buying different digital video games and blogs and websites and even YouTube channels. And so instead of doing what the typical company did, they saved themselves a lot of money by owning the media. So the typical company will go out and spend money on, back in the old days, all the different TV stations and papers and, things of that sort. Now today they might do Facebook or Google and YouTube and places like that. But instead of having to rely on those companies, and yes, they do provide a tremendous amount of value for us as far as advertising goes, but we can own the media, so we can control the advertising network, and we can control the message and save ourselves a lot of money and be able to sell our own products and services through these advertising channels. And this is the method that the Walt Disney Company has done. So you look at a company like Facebook, okay? And Facebook has billions of active users on their channel, and then they invite people to spend money with Facebook, and if they do that, Facebook will advertise your message to their user base, right? So if you understand how to use Facebook, and you understand some of the nuances of Facebook and advertising and human emotions, and are really good at selling stuff through media, typically what we'll do is we'll spend $1 on Facebook to get $4.80 in return. Now let's look at a company like the Huffington Post. And that's just this really big blog. According to an article on Forbes, it says that the Huffington Post is generating about $14 million a month through advertising dollars, thus generating their customers about $67 million in revenue. So if you look at what most companies are doing, you look at, again, the Facebooks, and they're allowing people to advertise on their channel. But what Disney decided to do is they decided to keep it all in-house. So instead of having to advertise their own, go out to other media channels to advertise their own products and services, they decided that they would keep it. So if you look at the scenario of the Huffington Post, instead of making $14 million a month, what Disney would have been doing is they would have been making $67 million a month. Now, as we all know, Disney does not own the Huffington Post. We're just using this as a theoretical example. Actually, AOL Time Warner owns the Huffington Post. But when we look at, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, we look at all these multi-billion-dollar internet companies and advertising channels, we look at these individuals like they're really smart. But when we actually look at the numbers, we can actually see how stupid they are. But this is a great opportunity for us, or for your competitors, because you can see how you can get an unfair advantage over your competitors by using this business model. So Brendan Burchard began following this exact same business model that Disney uses by, first of all, controlling the media, which gave him the capital to begin owning the media, so he started buying up undervalued social media accounts, which eventually led him being featured on the Oprah Winfrey Network and becoming one of the experts, one of her top selling experts. One of the things that stops many entrepreneurs from owning the media, besides the expense and not having the capital to buy different media channels, is the complication factor. Because there's a lot that goes into establishing your own media channel. You got to build your blogs, your email newsletters, your social media channels, film your videos. Again, there's a lot that goes into this. However, instead of selling you a project, we decided to open up an opportunity to partner up with us by using the same type of software that Dean Graziosi and some of the biggest experts in their field use, as well that Disney bought from a hipster parent couple called Babbel for $40 million. So if you look down below directly underneath this video, you'll find the resources to be able to take the next step, download our book, and even book an appointment with us so we can go ahead and set this system up for you. And if you've missed any of our previous videos so far, you'll find a link for that if you're watching this on YouTube in the upper right hand corner, or down in the resources section if you're watching this video anywhere else. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube, and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified for the next video that we release under this video series.